Very good race, Jules.
Finally, 11 points.
When I see you again.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Jules Bianchi Tribute Career Mode, and in this episode we head off to what used to be the last European race of the season, because of course we now have Russia on this calendar, but many people still consider this as the traditional last European race, as we head off for the Italian Grand Prix at the very famous and historic Monza circuit.
Welcome to Monza, where the crowd are ready for today's action, and we hope you're ready to see the world's best drivers fighting it out for that #1 spot. It's time for the Italian Grand Prix. Here's the grid for today's race. We'll be starting shortly.
That's a very good qualifying for us. We're up in 17th place in front of a Sauber and a Lotus. This is what the top 10 looks like. Ferrari not doing so well at their home race. Looks like we've got a 2x2 formation from the first to the fourth row, with Mercedes occupying the front row, Nico Rosberg on pole. Alright, let's look at the strategy for today's race. Let's see what we decide to do. I think I decided to go for the option tyres. I did weigh up using the primes, but then I decided I want to be on the same tyre as everyone else and hopefully be on par, because it is primarily a power track, so we need as much pace as we possibly can at the start when we're overtaking many cars.
See if you can manage third or better. Good luck.
We'll try our absolute best, engineer, and it's lights out and away we go in Monza. We've got a pretty decent start off the line. We haven't lost any positions just yet, but look, on our inside, that is Maldonado trying to make a move on us. He's had to back out of it because, of course, it's quite a narrow point into turn one. But we've made contact with both a Sauber and the Toro Rosso. I think that was with Sutil, but I'm not 100% sure. I have to check. Unfortunately, I couldn't check the replay because the replay file sadly corrupted. So apologies for that. We're unable to access any replays during this race. Anyways, we're now in a bit of a French sandwich. We've got Verne behind us, and in front of us is Romain Grosjean. Look at this, we're going to go for a massive dive bomb on the second Lotus in the second chicane. We don't leave enough room on the inside, and Grosjean ends up spinning out there. But I think the stewards took it as a racing incident. I think he just didn't see us coming, and as we came from so far back. We're now actually coming towards the end of the second sector. Nothing much happened between that point. It was just me trying to reel in the Toro Rosso Danil Kvyat. We're going to go down the inside into the first part of the Variante Ascari, the very last chicane of the actual lap. We're now coming up to the back of Jenson Button as we head up towards another famous corner. That is the Parabolica, the final corner of the lap. Going down the inside of the McLaren into the start of Parabolica, and then go around the outside of Sergio Perez on the exit of the corner. We're already up into 11th place, gaining 2 places in the final corner. We're now trying to get past Kevin Magnussen, who is in the final points position. Looks like there's a very good ding-dong battle in front after Magnussen. We're going to see if we can try to go down the inside of the McLaren. But look at this, there's some smoke coming out of the Ferrari of Kimi Räikkönen. Looks like he's going to be retiring from the race. We've now gained 3 places after Hülkenberg was held up by the Ferrari failing in front of him. We've now cut to the same sort of point that we did in the previous lap. We're now trying to get past the second Ferrari, Fernando Alonso. Looks like he's having a good scrap with the Red Bulls. We've got a very good drive off the exit of Ascari. We're now going side by side with Alonso. We've gone actually past the Ferrari. We've had to brake a little bit because of the Red Bulls in front battling out. We're going to try and go right round the outside of both of them, going off the track a little bit there, trying to get past Vettel very nearly. Vettel forcing us off the track there. So we're going side by side with the soon-to-be outgoing world champion. He's having a very good fight with us as we come up to the very first corner. We're having to brake once again because of Ricciardo running out of straight line speed as we come into the first chicane. We come around the outside of Vettel, but then we've hit Ricciardo off. And I was very surprised that I wasn't given a penalty because of that incident. But fortunately for us, we are able to continue. We've now cut to the end of lap number 4, start lap number 5. We actually set our best lap of the race. The next 2 cars in front are the two Williams cars. They're quite a bit way up the circuit, but that's primarily because of their superior straight line speed compared with the Red Bulls, which allow them to pull away like that. We've now cut to the end of lap number 5. They are visibly closer. We actually set the fastest lap of the race. As we come on to lap number 6, we are closing the gap on them. As you can see, we're now cut to the end of lap number 6. We're right with the Williams of Felipe Massa as we come into the our pit stop. Look at this, both Williams once again going into the pits at exactly the same time. We're fortunate not to run into the back. We've only did what Roberto Mehi did and Takumi Raikkonen in real life, and he had to take some avoiding action as he come into the pits. That's actually a Mercedes that's just exited the pits. I think that is Rosberg. Yes, it is. He's just overtaken us. We've now rejoined from our pit stop. We're actually ahead of Felipe Massa, but that's because of Williams once again being idiots and deciding to pit both their cars at exactly the same time. We're now going to see if we can try and make use of the fresh tyres to try and pass Valtteri Bottas. We've now cut to the end of the first sector of the outlap, and we're right with Bottas as we come into the very famous Lesmo section of the circuit prior to the third straight of the circuit. We're going to go down the inside of the second Lesmo. That's a very good move for us to take 6th place. I think that's a net 3rd place when everything works out. Bottas has now dropped considerably further back. I think that was because of our maneuver down the inside. I think he didn't expect it, but he did give us the room, so it was a fair move in the end. We've now cut to lap number 8. That is Nico Rosberg in front of us. We've actually got some very good pace on at this circuit, despite this being a power track and us being down on power because of the Ferrari engine compared with the Mercedes engine. But we've got some very good pace. We've got the fastest lap of the race still, so that's always a plus. We have made a mistake though going into the chicane. We get a warning for corner cutting, so we've also got to make sure we stay out of trouble. We're still right with Rosberg though. I think we've got a very good chance of taking 2nd place away from the Mercedes. We're actually going to go into rich fuel mix for the rest of the race to see if we can try and get past Rosberg. I'm not sure how far Hamilton is up the field. I think that is Hamilton, the next car ahead of Rosberg. So is a 2nd consecutive win on the cards here? I have no idea. We'll have to wait and find out. Of course, I know what the result is, but let's commentate and see what actually happens. We're now on at the midway point of lap number 9. We're still pretty close to Rosberg. We're actually in the DRS zone now, so we could be making very good gains coming up to the Ascari chicane. I think we're a bit too far back to make a maneuver on Rosberg without making contact, so we're going to try and get a very good exit off the corner and see if we can try and make a move into Parabolica. But Rosberg gets very good drive off the exit, so I don't think we're close enough to make a move on the Parabolica. We're going to try and stay in the slipstream of the Mercedes to try and close the gap as much as possible. We're going to go try and stick behind and try and make a move on the main straight. But look at this, Rosberg's left the inside open and we've just taken 2nd place. I don't know what happened there. We just got a better drive or something as we come on to start lap number 10. But I think Rosberg is right there. Yes, he is. But the DRS is once again being inefficient for us. That's Rosberg on side by side of us as we go into the first corner. We're having to leave a little bit of room on the inside there to just to ensure that we ensure that this is a clean fight and we don't cut across him. But that has compromised our exit out of the chicane, and Rosberg is still with us as we come up to the 2nd chicane, coming up to the end of the 1st sector. Rosberg is right there. He could have done a move like what Alonso did on Vettel in 2012 and what Vettel did on Alonso in 2011, but he decides not to. I think we're going to gain a little bit of time in the Lesmo section of the circuit, but we've gone off the circuit a little bit, hitting the gravel. Now Rosberg is going to go down the inside into the 2nd Lesmo corners. There he is. He's side by side with us. We're able to maintain position just about, but we did a little bit better than what Bottas did against us when we tried that move. But Rosberg, with DRS and Mercedes power, has just shot straight past us coming up to the Ascari chicane. So it looks like we've got to do all that work once again. But I will not be defeated by Rosberg this time around. He beat me in Hungary and I beat him in Spa, but I'm going to try and beat him cleanly on the track in the dry. We're going to go down the inside into the Parabolica to try and take 2nd place back. Rosberg was on our outside. We were able to make the move stick though, but I think we're still going to be under pressure from the DRS of the Mercedes power. We're going to see if we have got DRS. No, we don't. That means Rosberg's going to go straight past us going down the main straight because of the Mercedes power and DRS. But we're going to try and get the braking right into the chicane. We've actually hit the apex perfectly there, and we've managed to take second place away from Rosberg. Rosberg will still be around though because of his superior straight line speed coming up to the second chicane at the end of the first sector, but we're able to hold him off this time. We don't make that same mistake at the Lesmo corners. We're now on to lap number 12. Hamilton's around just over 2 seconds up the road from us, so we're going to have to pull out all the stops if we have any chance of winning back-to-back races for the first time this season. That's Hamilton going into the first chicane. We're getting closer and closer. We've actually set the fastest lap of the race as we come across the line to start the final lap. Hamilton is just under a second ahead of us. We've got a real chance here, and there's also a back marker in front. That is the Caterham of Marcus Ericsson, I think. So he could pose a bit of a threat to us, to Hamilton and us. But let's see what actually happens. We're going to actually stay with this for the final lap to see if we can actually try and take this win. Ericsson makes it very unhelpful for us, forcing us to go around the outside. But fortunately for us, we don't lose that much time as we go into the start of the second sector. We get a pretty good exit off the chicane. We're still right with Hamilton as we come into the Lesmo section. We're actually going to get DRS at least going onto the third main straight, coming up to the Ascari chicane. We're too far behind to make a move on the Lesmo corners, so we're going to try and stick behind and make sure we get good exits out the corners so that we have a chance later on in the lap, possibly in the final corner of the race. We're in the DRS zone of Hamilton as we come up to the Ascari chicane. We decide not to make a move into Ascari, but Hamilton goes quite slowly out the first part of the corner. We get very good drive off the exit. There's a possibility to take the lead in the final corner of the final lap of the race. We're in the slipstream of the Mercedes. We're going to go down the inside of Hamilton. We've done it. We've made the move stick, I think. We're up into first place. Can we hold on as we come across the line? Our fuel indicator is flashing, so we very nearly ran out of fuel, but we've managed to take the win. That is back-to-back wins for the first time this season.
Mercedes have won today's race, and what a result for the team. Niki Lauda rightly called it as one of the drives of the season.
David Croft once again being oblivious to what actually happened. We won the race by 0.2 of a second. A quarter of a second between me and Hamilton as we crossed the line. Rosberg finished in third, Bottas in fourth, Massa in fifth, Alonso getting a decent result for Ferrari in sixth, Vettel down in seventh, Hulkenberg getting a good result for Force India in eighth, Ricciardo down in ninth. I think that was primarily because of his incident with us. Magnussen taking the final point in 10th, with two retirements, Romain Grosjean and Kimi Raikkonen being the only drivers not failing to finish the race. Let's look at the Drivers' Championship now. And as you can see, we've cut the gap to 37 points between ourselves and Lewis Hamilton, who is still leading the championship. Vettel has moved in front of his teammate into 4th, and Alonso has moved ahead of his teammate into 8th, but there's no changes anywhere else. I'd like to hear your guys' opinions. Do we have a shot at the Drivers' Championship this season? As you can see, this is the Constructors' Championship. We are still in a bit of a scrap between Red Bull and Williams for that second place. So I think that battle is going to go on till the end of the season. I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. I've very certainly enjoyed doing the race as well. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe. Also comment to tell me how I could improve the series. And I'll see you for the next race at what was the first night race of the F1 calendar, and that is Singapore. Also let me know, do you think we've got a chance for the Drivers' Championship? Please comment below. Until next time, see you in Singapore.